sports gear, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon, Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Rudy Luther Toyota has a great way for you to purchase your next vehicle. It's the Toyota Smart Path. You can shop at the dealership or on your couch. Shop smarter by saving time, and remember, they'll have the best prices and no surprises. You can browse the available vehicles, use the Smart Path payment estimator to customize your own payments, apply for financing, and then finalize your purchase. Smart Path is the smartest path to your new vehicle. Check it out online at rudyluthertoyota.com or stop.
Just south of Rosedale Mall in Roseville on Fairview Avenue, and Shanghai International Wholesale Market on Pryor Avenue in St. Paul, just north of University. Find everything you need: meat, seafood, fruits, and vegetables.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up. They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies are trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Jaji. Hey, this portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Trading Post. Shop now at cause-cart.shop and search Native Roots to find your resist gear. Pinigigi for all your support.
Yeah, definitely. And it's time to resist. And there's so many things that are happening that are out of our control, but we want to talk about them because it seems like the mainstream media does not talk about this. And I know with your JOB, Jalisa, there's a lot of change in that that's happening federally, and how we get funding and in the treatment centers. And I don't know, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. First, I'll start by sharing with the listeners. I have the humble job of being a counselor at a treatment facility. It's specifically an outpatient treatment and intensive outpatient treatment. And it's been fantastic. I just absolutely adore the owner, the treatment directors, the whole staff. It's just been a wonderful experience in my career. And some extreme troubling hardship has happened in this last week that none of us have any control over, not even the owner, right? So I'll get into that. But just to give a little background, I was able to start a all Native group where we do wellbriety and just really focus on bettering our lives and focus in on the culture aspect of that and just provide a safe space for Native people to work on themselves, which has been really great, very humbling, and just a great experience. So I've been able to connect specifically with our Native clients and our Native people there. So it's been really great. But specifically what you're addressing, Jaji, is extremely troubling. So, I know I'm not sure how much I can speak on it. So I'll kind of speak in general terms for our listeners, but just so you're aware of it. So basically what we do at Elite and what we do to strive to help our clients really focus on themselves is we provided help for clients and their sober houses. So we would partner with sober houses. And now the government has come in and Minnesota, for those that don't know, is just a great mecca of health care and treatment, specifically chemical dependency.
Used to be called the land of 10,000 treatment centers when I was in the field.
And I still hear that. So it's still true. There are so many options for people to go to treatment in Minnesota. And that's one of the great, one of our great attributes about this state, right? So basically, the partnership that we have in terms of crediting clients. So while they're there, they get a little bit of credit to be able to afford their sober house living. And that's to really encourage them too. But now that is not being allowed. So in other words, we have clients that are out their rent. And it's specifically not for rent anywhere, but it's specifically for sober homes. And just to give some insight on that, a lot of sober homes, they're ran privately, but they're ran in a way that they have to provide UAs. They're encouraged to stay sober. They're encouraged to go to meetings, to be in community, to be together. So it's a really great atmosphere for them. And it's been a really great transition because a lot of people go to inpatient first. And so they're living together. And then they go to outpatient and then hopefully live in a sober home. So this is going to be very troubling because this is going to hurt people in their living environment.
Yeah. So halfway houses and 3/4 houses have been around for a long time. And it's important, and I know, to transition because a lot of the problems we see in other states, especially Wisconsin, is you go through a treatment center and then you get put back in your neighborhood and go back home and you're back and getting, going through the dry cleaner again and sobering up. It's a bad cycle. And
exactly.
So Minnesota and other through the federal government and the monies that they give treatment centers and insurance companies and all those things, that's been cut off.
Exactly. Yeah. And to give people perspective too, that might not know, we serve a lot of clients from out of state, and that is because they are able to come and do treatment and be encouraged and empowered in a way that treatment was really designed. When I studied, CD and I got my license and went to college for it, they really talked about how treatment's really designed to have an inpatient experience where you're living there for at least a month.
28 days to change
sometimes
change
longer.
a habit. Yeah.
It's at least a month. Now a lot of places are 3 months.
Mhm.
And then from there you go to a Wanda the dog is saying hi. You go to an intensive outpatient that I work at, such as, that place. And then you also live in a sober house. And then from there you can do an outpatient, like more of an extended outpatient. So like a 2-day a week thing.
Mhm.
And then by then the hope is that you have your home meetings,
Right.
you have your therapist, you have your primary care and all these things set up. So the way it's designed is, what we're trying to do for people and what we're trying to provide. And the federal government is really getting involved and even hurting now Minnesota, which has done such a great job for so many years.
Yeah, I know the Minnesota model, which
Exactly.
Hazelden started. Well, now I have a cup. This is how long I've been around. I have a cup that says their 40th anniversary, but I think they've been around 80 years now or so. So, but yeah, the Minnesota model has worked. Betty Ford took that Minnesota model and started theirs, and now, like for instance, Hazelden is merged with Betty Ford, and there's so much more to just putting a plug in the jug, quitting drinking or doing drugs or whatever.
Right.
It's a spiritual ailment, but it's also a thing that really you can't snap your fingers and be cured.
Right. No. As
And
much
it's a
as
process, and you're talking about the process now is being cut off.
Exactly. I mean, so you're going to have people that, come from so many different types of backgrounds, right? And based on their insurance, we're able to take basically anybody, right? Wealthy, poor, any socioeconomic status we can take. But the problem is that when they're coming right out of outpatient, or maybe they're coming straight from detox, they need some time to really create this foundation of a healthy lifestyle and then be able to go work, and it's a whole nother topic to talk about. Some people really aren't able to work for various reasons. But a lot of our clients do work part-time, and they do still pay some rent, but for us to not be able to have that partnership is just really disheartening.
Does that have the funding have anything to do with Rule 25? Because I know what's really weird is I used to work in Wisconsin and they never heard of Rule 25. So we're really blessed here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't believe so, because that's how you're qualified for what type of treatment that you would need, whether it be outpatient or inpatient. Sober houses are a separate entity that we've been able to partner with, but it's just disheartening that we're not able to do that now.
Yeah.
We're still going to encourage people to live in sober houses, obviously, and we still love that community as well.
Wow, thank you, Jalisa, for that update, and also really what you do. And I'm so proud of you. And every day that you're on, I get to say that, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people get to hear that. Hey, Native Roots Radio, we'll be right back after this short.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces, because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
I'll never forget. I was driving my Sienna from Rudy Luther Toyota, and I was hit at 35 miles an hour, rear-ended square flush. If not for the structural integrity of my Sienna, I wouldn't be here right now. There's a lot I can say about Rudy Luther Toyota, about their fantastic service department and their great selection, but being able to say your car saved my life is the best endorsement I can make. Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota are my highest recommendation. Get one today and tell them me, Matt McNeil, told you to stop on in. Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Really excited to have Tony Drews on again. And Tony, you have a lot of great product, but we want to talk a little bit about, I mean, you're an artist and we have a lot of great things to talk about, but I really want to talk about the Tawahi grant and talk about that. We both are recipients of it. And also you work as a empowerment grant manager, and let's talk a little bit and get the word out there to the community.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me back and the opportunity to talk a little bit about Nashie Games, and definitely just always like to talk about the work I do at Tawahi. I'm the American Indian Family Empowerment Programs Grants Manager. We have 2 different grant rounds per year, and for each of those grant rounds, we give out 50 $2,500 investments. And I really tried to shift away from the word grants. I feel there's a power dynamic. There's a grantee and a grantor, but we like to call them investments. We're making investments into the community. And we have a grant round excitingly opening on Tuesday, July 1st. And that grant round will be open all the way till September 15th. And more exciting, this year for our grant rounds, in addition to the $2,500 investments, we're offering 2 increased funding at $5,000. And then we're bringing our youth into the mix. We're offering $3,000 investments to our youth. So just super excited to get that out. You can go to our website and follow the prompts of the American Indian Family Empowerment Program to get to the application.
Wow, that's exciting. And let's talk about, I remember going to Tawahi, a fundraiser, a gala years ago, and I think Tall Paul was one of the first grant recipients, and he had an unbelievable story about how it really changed his life. He was able to get a really nice computer and if people out there don't know who Tall Paul is, he's one of the premier rappers, and he makes his own beats, and Tawahi really helped with that.
Yeah, Tawahi is really embedded in the community. AFib alumni would go as far as James Vukolich, Sean Sherman, yourself, myself, Trish Cook. Yeah, the list goes on and on. The investments that we've made have really made those impacts that we were hoping into the community, and we just love to see and make new impacts every year.
One of the things too that I don't think we talk about enough, and maybe how people out there listening can support Tawahi to give these gifts out to get people started on their art way.
Yeah, well, our funding is all funded through our endowment. All of our endowment is only used for the funding of our grants or our investments. So all salaries and operation funds come from other revenues of funding. We are starting to build our individual donor base. You can go to our website and there's a button there to give. So we love to get those contributions from the community. And you can always reach out to Tony at the TawahiFoundation.org if you're interested in learning how you can give in different ways too.
Well, that's interesting. Sean Sherman was a recipient, and I forgot that. How many years ago was that? It was before he's blown up into these restaurants and food trucks that he started with.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was before my time, but we've been investing in the community for over 30 years as the American Indian Family Empowerment Program. And then about 15 years, we were able to go off on our own and have our own Native board of directors. And that's where the Tawahe Foundation was created. But obviously, the American Indian Family Empowerment Program is our flagship program of the foundation.
Wow, that's totally cool and exciting. So I know what are people, what are the I want to say, what are the boundaries of being selected? Who out there can apply for this grant?
Yeah, so we want our recipients, and we need the recipients to be Native American, but that doesn't mean you have to be enrolled. We're not trying to create barriers for our community to receive these investments. So you just need to prove that you are connected to an enrolled member of a recognized tribe. You need to live in the cities, the 7-county area, which would be Anoka, Carver, Dakota, Hennepin, Scott, Ramsey, and Washington counties. And then previous to these years, you have to be 18 years or older. Those are the main requirements. But like I said, this round we're giving out those 3 youth investments. But to be eligible for those youth investments or the 2 $5,000 investments, we offer an application workshop. And this year we're going to do it on August 12th at the Humanities Center, where we walk you through, hey, I'd love an investment from Tawahe, but I don't know what I would even ask for. I know what I want. I want to invest into my business. And we walk you through the whole process, helping you have the tools to put the strongest application forward. And we grant in the 4 areas of health and wellness, economic independence, education, and culture and language.
Well, that's huge. And I know personally when it comes to getting investments and grants, it helps you focus in on what you're doing when you're doing this writing for a grant. And that makes so much sense.
Yeah, and we often get the feedback from our community that, this is the first grant I've ever written for, and I was so intimidated. So we're more than just applying for grants here. We're trying to strengthen the community. And like I said, if you come to our workshop, we'll give you the tools, not only to put a successful AFib application together, but when you look at other grants, what lens you should be looking through to maybe secure those grants.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Geez, it is intimidating. It can be intimidating. And to go through that whole thing, I think people that have been able to go through the grant process a few times become more comfortable with it, but it's that first one, and it sounds like that's what you're really helping people with, is the first one, and get off their feet.
Yeah, we're trying to assist the community in making those investments, and we like to call them those positive ripple effects, that we invest in them, and then their investments invest into the community.
That's awesome. So, what are some of the grantees over the years that you've won? Wow, that's really unique, or I never would have thought of that, and that really fits into what we do at Tawahe.
Yeah, a couple of the flagship ones, at least that I've worked with since I started, I really like to talk about is we had a Native lady that wanted to try something new. But she's a little older in life, and it can be intimidating to change careers. And she was interested in becoming a real estate agent. Wow. And I didn't know until I talked to her, but we represent less than 1% of the realtors in the state of Minnesota. But that comes with cost of certifications and taking classes. So we were able to assist her with that financial cost, so she could take those classes and do those assessments, and then actually become a realtor. So that was awesome. And
that is awesome. And not only it's costly for the classes, but also to take the test for the state.
Definitely. And then the other one that really touches my heart is trying to take back our culture. And our elders are passing at alarming rates, and with that are the knowledge that they're taking with them. And we had this one lady that wanted to travel to visit and spend time with someone that had that bulrush weaving knowledge. So she took a grant out for her travel, her gifts, her time to spend with that lady to get that knowledge of how to do that. And then bringing it back and making that into a project that she could share it with the community. And those cultural language ones really touched my heart. But yeah, it's just amazing the work that our community can do. And $2,500 isn't a ton of money, but it's enough sometimes to make those investments happen.
That is a beautiful story, and that the spirit of both those stories, as a matter of fact, because we trust our own people, and having a realtor out there that's native and also somebody that can really learn and pass it on, and also aren't in dire straits, because like we talked before about the original store we had at Dayton's Native Roots Trading Post was to really amplify native artists. And one of the deals was that I said, well, geez, I know this person and she's a great artist, but you know what, she doesn't get what she deserves, because she might need to sell a painting for $10 because she needs formula, and so that's an unbelievable story. We got like a minute left here, and I really would love to talk about Nashki native games too, and how people can, we had them in Native Roots Trading Post, and we're going to have them again, and people just are blown away by the beauty and the simplicity. And let's talk more about that. And I know you have more things coming out, and I really love for it that where people could get online and or go where you're going to be and support you and the artists that you represent. So I am here with Tony Drew's Nashki Native Games, and we'll be right back after the short break.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP, or visit snapconstruction.com.
I'm Amy Ruzick with No Place Like Home at RE/MAX Results. We were so proud to sponsor AM 950's booth and all of the incredible live shows throughout Pride, from the Illegal Trans Woman to the Gailey Show and more. It was an honor to stand with our community and celebrate everything Pride represents. At No Place Like Home, we're deeply committed to helping people find a place where they feel safe, welcome, and supported. We're more than real estate agents. We educate, advocate, and give back. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, we're here to help you feel truly at home. With LGBTQ plus rights under attack, Pride was a powerful reminder of what makes Minnesota special. We're proud to help people find a place where they truly belong. Thanks for celebrating with us. Learn more at noplacelikehome.info. At No Place Like Home, we work hard for our clients while serving the community we love.
Hi, I'm Rachel Shamblat. My dad is Dr. Scott Shamblat from Shamblat Family Dentistry. A lot of people are afraid of the dentist, but you don't have to be. My dad makes going to the dentist comfortable and even fun. He won't be mad if you haven't seen a dentist in a long time. He just wants to take care of you and your teeth. If you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
Shamblat Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblatfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Clear tonight with a low of 66 and Wednesday a chance of showers with a high of 87. Celebrate the 4th of July with the freshest ingredients in town. Market Fresh Minnesota, located just south of Rosedale Mall in Roseville on Fairview Avenue. And Shanghai International Wholesale Market on Pryor Avenue in St. Paul, just north of University. Find everything you need: meat, seafood, fruits, and vegetables. This is AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hey, we're here with Tony Drews, Nashki Native Games, and we were talking prior to that about Tawahi and just some great organizations. Let's talk about your games. I want to remind our audience, because we always have new people listening to us all over the country, how your games came about.
Yeah, I was an educator in the Noka Hennepin School District, tasked with working with our Native students. And, I was so excited to share what I knew of our culture and language with our students. But I started teaching on a chalkboard and just like nothing. And week after week, they just weren't interested. I thought it'd be super easy to excite our youth. And then I was like, I got to come up with a different way to do this. And David Samabun from Mille Lacs had given me a moccasin game. And I just brought it into the classroom. Just, I don't know. And then it sparked and people were asking questions and they're engaging. So I was like, I got to figure out how to capture this in what I do. So I went home and made a contemporary game and started sharing some of our reimagined traditional games. And it just caught on like wildfire, and it really hasn't slowed down from then. We're about 2 years in now, and it's just been an amazing journey, meeting so many people. And, I think making the difference that we're making has been really heartfelt.
Wow, that's amazing. That's totally amazing. I love that story. And it seems like you've been around longer than that, but only 2 years. Geez. And I know you get around, but also you're a one-person show, so it's hard for you to get around. But what are you doing? You go to schools, other schools too now, and show your games, and then it got bigger. And let's talk about the history.
Yeah, and we have a great team. I'm definitely not a one-man show. I have a business partner and a whole support team that helps us out all the time. Couldn't do it without all of them. But we, on top of our games, we use our games as the catalyst to talk about language and culture. And we do professional developments. We do in-school learning with students. We do event nights. We do game nights. And we do some Native American programming support too. So we stay super, super busy, traveling Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. Been out to Kingston, Ontario, and out to Utah. It's just been a super joy spreading our mission.
That's amazing. Yeah. Wow. And so what do you do for people? And I want to people to be able to get a hold of you too. So you bring certain games, or do you bring all the games? What's the process when you go do these presentations?
You just, you can plan all you want. You just never really know exactly what's going to be needed when you show up. So we bring a plethora of different games. We really try to fish out what's the audience, how many, what age levels. We have different games that fit better with different age levels, but definitely we bring enough to pivot if we need to. And we bring a mix of our reimagined traditional games that just by playing them, you're immersing yourself in our culture. And then we bring some real fun contemporary games too that highlight our Ojibwe language and culture, all while just having a super good time.
Wow. I would love to come and watch you guys do this. That's amazing. So let's talk about what you have. I know you're expanding, and I know one of the most popular things that we had were the puzzles, and I'd never seen puzzles like this, and the puzzles and also the deck of cards. Talk about those two things.
Yeah, super excited. So our traditional games, we call them reimagined because they're not meant to duplicate those original games, because those games have cultural protocols. But our community, for a large part, doesn't even know about some of these. So these are just to share the understanding of these games. We have a moccasin game version, a snake version, and a Bagasse version. And then for our contemporary games, we have a fur trade era game. And our version of Go Fishing, we use our winged relatives, our birds. So for all of our images in our contemporary games, we bring them in the forms of puzzles and memory tiles too. So they can be enjoyed and used for all ages. And then we've been so fortunate to build just great relationships over the 30 years in the community. And I know some great artists. So last year we came out with our 52 deck of playing cards, all inspired with Ojibwe floral and design and language. And it's just been a huge hit. So we've teamed up with Sokaduka and the Dakota program to bring a version of our Ojibwe deck of cards in Dakota language and culture. So that just hit the printing press. So hopefully we'll have that out here by September. Super excited about these partnerships that we've made. And then we have one more reimagined traditional game that I just got my prototype in today. And we have this deer bone game that we used to play a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
Able to bring it and get it manufactured here so we can bring it to the community. So I don't know when we'll get them, but hopefully around this fall sometime, I'll be excited to release them. And nobody's ever heard of that, first time here.
Wow, that is awesome. Let's back up a second. So I know the moccasin games played by a lot of different tribes. Is that a kind of a pan native game, or is that a Ojibwe game that we've stole from you? Or
Well, the more you learn about something, the more you realize how little you know. And this has been a great journey for me, learning on how these traditional games are really played throughout across the country and have different versions and different rule plays and different purposes, tribe to tribe. And like, Ojibwe, that game is a men's game. So when we started, we were really worried about, hey, how can we do this? Can we bring this traditional game to our people when it's got these strict protocols? So we looked to our tobacco, Akaway Sema. We went to elders in the community and said, hey, our community, a lot of our community doesn't even know this exists. But we have these cultural protocols, at least in Ojibwe where I'm from. How can we get across this? And they took our tobacco and they came back and they said, you know what, these aren't those traditional games. And they're not. Like, our moccasin game is scaled way down to just foundation role play, just to get you exposed. But it's been a real big hit, especially with those first graders, second graders, and third graders in the school. They just absolutely love that game. But yeah, they all seem to transcend all of our relatives and somehow.
That's great. I know. Before we had casinos and things like that, we were commingling in a lot of different ways here in like Minnesota for sure, because I know a lot of our relatives in Prairie Island are part Ho-Chunk, and I'm sure there's a lot of that with our Ojibwe friends. And we have my son-in-law's Ojibwe from Leech Lake, so we're all, my grandkids are Ho-Chunk and Ojibwe, and we're keeping the tradition going. But this is really important work you're doing too, and it sounds fun because it's really incorporating language, art, and things like that. Talk about a few of the artists that you have working with you.
Yeah, we have Nicole Bean. Bill Breen. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Nicole Bean and Bill Breen and Chelsea Smith are the three main artists that we work with. But we have a couple other ones that we work with too, but those are the three that have really got us started out.
So I know the cards are beautiful, and we had to set them out and open up a pack and showed people. Everybody that sees the playing cards and the art, the beautiful art of the puzzles too. Talk a little bit about the puzzles. Those were really unique, and I guess I'm colonized because I'm used to a different kind of puzzle.
Yeah, I can't remember like really how we got the inspiration for that. We definitely, with our snake game, we were looking at using those tongue depressors to be able to send kids home with kids to use. And I don't know if I remember seeing a game like that, but just the concept came, hey, we want a puzzle that's engaging, but not difficult. Like we really want to highlight that culture and language in it. And like I said, I can't really remember how we got the inspiration for that particular 8-set puzzle, but it's been a huge hit. It's been really a good way to start that language journey for some of our younger kids. And you know what? My high school daughters, they love those puzzles just as much as the little ones.
Well, we do here, and Wendy and I thought they were beautiful when we were displaying them. It's just like, wow. And it was funny because before we displayed them, they were in the box, and we were really surprised when we opened them and went, wow, this is really cool. I've never seen this before. And maybe we can explain a little bit with the tongue depressors, what you were saying, seeing that this is radio.
Yeah, so each box has 12 different puzzles on them. And the puzzles are double-sided. So we're using like oversized tongue depressor shapes, and each puzzle has 8 pieces. So they're not terribly difficult to put together. And there's some clues on how we can put them together. And we use them for our bird version of the game. So you get 12 different birds to put together. And it includes the Ojibwe name and the Dakota name for that. And then for our Miigwech series, our fur trade era game, we do the same with fur trade era items that were really important to the Anishinaabe, like the Mi'kmaq, the beaver hide, and tobacco. And they all have both the language in Ojibwe and in English on them. And they're 8-piece puzzles.
So I don't know if we brought this up, but where can people find out more about your art and your games and all these things, and how to book you guys, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty old school. The social media has been super important, but I'm really only on Facebook. It's the only one I really understand. So if you want to see the work that we do, check our Facebook page out. You'll see all of the engagement that we do with schools and communities and programs. On my website, you can reach out to me. We have a couple of forms on there. If you're an educator, you can go into the educator site or contact and just send me an email, either at tony@nushke.com or through the form. Interested in any kind of engagement, and we'll work something out. And I'm really proud of this. Like, we got to keep the lights on, but I'm a firm believer in not letting budgets get in the way of fulfilling the mission. So if you see a price on there and you're like, ooh, that's a little too much for us to have Tony out, we'll work with you. We'll make it work.
Well, I just want to say a big Peeny Gigi, thank you so much for coming on. Spell that out for our people that are driving in cars and downloaded these shows. Spell Nishke.
Yeah, it's Nashke, Nushke, and it just means like, behold, check us out, check it out.
Right on. Hey, Tony, thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate you, and appreciate your partnership too with Native Roots Trading Post. It's a thing that I'd really like to see grow, and people just love your games. So thank you so much for coming on.
Miigwech for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Right on. We'll see you soon. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. Up next.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune into Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Rudy Luther Toyota is the dealer you can trust. Go to rudyluthertoyota.com to browse their inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Style, performance, and reliability. You can find it all at Rudy Luther. With every new and certified pre-owned vehicle, you'll get a Luther Advantage card, save 10 cents per gallon at the pump, and get $6 Works car washes at Holiday Station stores. That's right. You can get a great vehicle and help stretch your budget even further. Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Hi, I'm Tiergan. And I'm Hadley. We're two of the very first listeners, and we're still listening to Native Roots Radio.
Yeah. We got two people listening.
We got two.
Awesome. Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio. And I'm your host, Robert Pilot. This is our fun facts. And Wendy, I really appreciate you coming on today. Wendy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, first I want to say in this portion of the show, we want to bring awareness to our Minnesota Wolves. Say no to the hunt.
No.
Hey, everybody. My name is Hana Jihihani. That means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States. I work on animal issues at the local and state level, and it's always my pleasure to do that. I have some fun facts today. We're going to keep things light.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Robert,
Yeah.
scientists have observed octopuses punching fish, sometimes seemingly without any clear reason other than potential spite or to control the fish's behavior during collaborative hunts. These punches are described as a way to deter fish from interfering with the octopus's meal, relocate their position during a hunt, or even to punish them. So the octopus, scientists have seen like the octopus is just like sitting there in the corner and a fish goes by and gives them a punch.
That's crazy. They don't live that long. That really bummed me out when I watched that documentary.
Yes. My Octopus Teacher. I believe it's still on Netflix. It's really awesome if you get a chance.
Won Academy Award.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you some questions about how long the pregnancy of different animals lasts. Yeah, we did this a really long time ago, and it just came up, and it's really amazing. So let's talk about an elephant. How many months do you think an elephant is pregnant for? So,
give me a
human woman is pregnant for 9 months.
I know that.
So what about it? What would you just guess? An elephant.
Well, they're so big.
Yeah.
I don't know. How about 12 months? A year?
22 months.
Wow.
They're pregnant for 22 months.
Okay, now this is going to help me answer the other questions because the bigger they are, the longer they're pregnant, it sounds like.
Well, that could be true. What about a walrus?
Cuckoo, cuckoo. They're about, I'd say 12 months.
15 months.
Oh,
Yeah. How about
see?
a dolphin?
15 months.
10. How about a cow?
Oh, 10.
Yes, 9 to 10 months.
Whoa.
Yep, 9 to 10 months. Woo! One in a row.
Yeah.
One in a row. Hippopotamus is hippopotamus.
I want to say 18 months.
8 months.
Wow, less.
I know. That was
Yeah.
surprising. How about a goat?
Greatest of all time?
Goats.
You're the greatest of all time.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah.
Greatest of all time?
Yeah.
I really love goats. They're very friendly little animals.
6 months.
5 months. Close.
Wow.
Yeah. How about a cat? Do you know how long a cat is pregnant for? Do you have any idea?
I would think 6 months too.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have had any idea if I didn't see this chart. I would have probably thought 6 months, but only 2 months.
What?
Yeah, a cat is only pregnant for 2 months.
How many
Could you imagine?
litters can they have a year?
Well, I don't know.
They have to
They
recover
can
and
have
all
a
that.
lot. Yeah, and they have a lot of kittens at the same time. They
That's
just don't
right.
have 1 or 2. They have like
Right.
6, you know. How about a dog? What do you think a dog is?
What was the cat again?
The cat was 2 months pregnant.
3 months.
Dog is also 2 months.
What?
I know. Isn't this crazy?
Did we really talk about this one time?
One
Because
time,
I
a
don't
very long
remember
time
this
ago.
at
I
all.
can't remember it either. So, you know. How about a kangaroo? Do you have any?
Well,
I know, right?
aren't
Just
they in the pouch
a
for?
random animal?
Do they grow in the pouch, or how does a kangaroo?
I think it comes out and then it's in the pat. Well, yeah, I think it is. You think you're right. I have to look that up. So a kangaroo is pregnant for how long?
Well, they're so little. I would say like 2 months.
4 to 5 weeks.
2
so
months.
a month. 1 month. 4 weeks is a month.
Right.
How about a little mouse? What do you think a mouse? How long is the
mouse pregnant
mouse
before
pregnant?
conception, or not conception, before a delivery?
A little
I want to
mouse.
say 6 weeks.
3 weeks.
Oh, I meant to say 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So when you see like bees, bumblebees, when you
Yep.
see bumblebees in the evening sitting on flowers, they're old bees. Yeah, they're old. So they're old, or they might be sick, and they don't return to the hive at night. Instead, they sleep on a flower, and if they see another sunrise, they'll bring nectar back to the hive, but they don't want to burden the hive. So they know when they're sick, and they know when their time's up.
That's crazy.
I know, isn't that crazy? So they know. So if you see a bee at night, it shouldn't be out and about, or and they could sleep inside the flower.
Hey, to change subject, and we
Mhm.
talked about this a couple shows ago about the firefly.
Yeah,
I saw somebody put something out on a firefly, what you can do to preserve them. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It was interesting. One of the things was not have a light on in your backyard at night.
Oh, okay.
It was like stuff like that. We'll have to talk about it some other show, and I'll
Yeah.
have to send that to you, because I thought of you right away because we had talked about that.
And you call them
Fireflies?
fireflies. We
What do
used
you
to call
call
them lightning bugs.
Huh.
Yeah, we used to call them lightning bugs. But yeah, you hardly see any of them.
There's one down the
anytime.
block. We only see one, right? There's one down the block.
One down the block.
There's one firefly that lives down the block.
Oh, he
I've
lives
seen
down
it.
the block?
I've
Really?
seen- yeah.
Do you think he lives in the same spot? You don't think they fly around in different spots?
Well, I've seen him in front of the same house.
I'm really happy because I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe that we have a cardinal nest in that
Oh, in our
bushy
bush?
tree in the front. Yes.
Wow.
I saw a male and a female fly out of there, and they came to our bird feeder.
That's crazy,
And-
because I was going to trim that. Now I have to let it go.
Yeah, don't trim it. Or do
remember
it
when-
by hand, like really carefully.
I remember Misko was trimming it, and then she showed me that those years ago that she came over here and trimmed the side. There was a nest there, and I said, "Yeah, leave it."
Oh, yeah.
So there's probably a nest in there they're using, but that seems so low.
Well, it's very it's covered. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
Yeah.
a hedgy, bushy tree
can't see
bush
it.
kind of thing. I don't even know what it is, but
Well, the way you feed the animals across this 5-block radius, they come to see you. I'm sure they're going, we need to like be close to these peanuts.
Well, the whole thing is too, we've been giving a lot more sunflower seeds than normal, but they're expensive to buy,
I saw a crow with a carrot today. I
Oh.
wanted to call you. There was like 5 crows out in the backyard.
God, I love those
And he had a carrot.
crows. He did. Okay, so yeah, every night I chop up one carrot. I cut it up. I don't know who eats it, but every day the carrot's gone.
I think different people, I call them people, eat it.
Well, I know Rocky Raccoon. He comes, and sometimes we get possums, and I don't know. The chipmunks, the squirrels. I don't know if they eat them, but remember we saw that. I don't know if I have enough time
Duck.
for this, but only 1 minute. All right, I don't have time to talk about the killer bees, but we will talk about those again.
Give me a fun fact, quick.
Oh,
we got a minute.
Fun fact. Fireworks. Okay, all right. We want no fireworks.
Right.
They're bad for the environment. They're bad for animals. They're bad for pets. They're bad for people who have PTSD, soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want them. And bees become disoriented and they don't go back to their hives. Birds have panic attacks at night, causing mass deaths. Wild animals raising babies abandon their dens in fear. Fish and other animals perish after ingesting fireworks. Compassion animals have anxiety and panic attacks. Humans have PTSD. So silence the fireworks.
Gosh, yes. In our lifetime. And I know other countries are doing
Italy has a city that has silent fireworks.
Yeah, and then they do those drones too.
Yeah,
hey,
those are
we're still here. We are the 7th generation. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Wendy.
Yeah.
Native